Growing up, Halloween meant candy and costumes. See, my formative years were when Michael Myers was on hiatus, so the Halloween movies didn't even enter my consciousness till I was about 10 years old. My knowledge of horror movies and the stars that took them up was Freddy and Jason. Basically, they dominated the late 80s and early 90s. Freddy was a bombastic, loud character, very 80s. He taunted his victims, he laughed, he referenced pop culture, he made fun of them as he killed them. Jason was a zombie with a cool mask. He actually, he was my Halloween costume, I think 2 or 3 years in a row, just because I loved wearing that hockey mask. And then one day, Halloween stopped meaning just, costumes and candy and stuff like that. Halloween meant the movie Halloween to me. Like I said, I was 10 years old. Finally saw it on, I believe, AMC at the time. It might have been Turner Classic Movies. Who knows? Maybe even FX. Maybe TBS. Probably TBS now that I think about it. And I was on the edge of my seat. I didn't know what was going on with Laurie. I was terrified that she was not going to survive. As a kid, you don't understand the whole thing about final girls and all that. You are just locked in and terrified of what's going on. I distinctly remember this kid on the school bus in the morning, one of the older kids. He'd seen all the Halloweens up to that point in the mid-90s, and he was telling us all the lore, and it was like, there's this many movies with this much stuff, and from that moment I was hooked. There was something about the whole series. As scared of it as I was, I just had to know more. I had to see more of what was going on. If you're not familiar with the story, I assume if you got this far in the video, hi, I'm Alex from Sandro Says. Let's cover a quick synopsis of Halloween, if you're not familiar. Basically, a masked madman stalks and kills people. That's it. No zombies, no spirits, no haunting, no dreams, no taunting the victims, no angry mother that's out to kill a bunch of camp counselors, none of that. Just a killer, a shape of evil that could easily appear in your own neighborhood. The movie does an amazing job of capturing the essence of a small town, or any town. Haddonfield just looks lived in. It looks real. You see these people and the way they act. It feels very real. And then there's one thing sticking out, one creepy mask sticking out in the background, and it terrifies you. So, let me talk about the mask real quick. There are two things in this movie that stick out to me. The mask and the shadows. They really put this movie above most other horror movies, but especially the later ones in the series. The mask is so interesting to me because it's a mask that no child would choose. It doesn't make sense as a Halloween mask. Obviously, it's not meant to be a real Halloween mask. For those of you that don't know, it was a William Shatner mask from Star Trek, even though the mold was from a different movie he was on at the time. And they heavily modified it with paint and cutting the eyes and taking off the sideburns and stuff like that to make it this mask. But it's a mask that no child would wear, so it's very strange. There's no reason for it to be a mask. It's just an ethereal human face, which it's human at a glance, and then after a second, it's like, oh, that's not right. Something's wrong there, which is so terrifying. It's just this blank face with no eyes, and it's just staring at you at all times. Even if it's not staring at you, you can't tell where it's staring because it has no eyes. There's just something unhuman about it, even though it's a human, and it's just so off-putting. So that mask alone is what, to me, obviously makes the series, but the first movie in general, it's just, that's the reason this succeeded. That's one of the reasons that this really stands out. I mean, obviously the score is great, the cinematography is great, but that mask, and there's a reason that the mask became such a talking point in the future movies with how they screwed it up. As far as the shadows, the viewer imagines the details that they can't see. When you don't see Michael on screen, when he's always in the shadows, you don't know. You start imagining that he's 8 feet tall and has super powerful arms and stuff like that. It makes all the scares bigger than reality. All humans are naturally, even the ones who aren't scared of the dark, I think instinctually we are, as a people, as a species, less comfortable in a dark situation. So that alone just puts you in an uneasy state, and Michael's back there creeping somewhere in the darkness. He's comfortable in it because he's a stalker and he loves being there. So the whole thing is it's just very off-putting and very scary. There's no other way to put it. The fact that no matter, excuse me, the fact that no matter how many times I watch this movie, I'm still fearful that Laurie is going to not make it into the house when she's pounding on the door saying, "Tommy, please open the door, it's me." I'm still convinced that Michael's going to make it across the street in time. I'm still, convinced that I'm still holding on to my chair basically when she has to hide in the closet later on, because I had one of those closets as a kid. Like, you could rip it open easily. And it's like, when he starts punching through it, it's just, she feels so hopeless. And she, at the last second, pulls the hanger and forms it into a weapon. The whole thing, it's very real. It's very lived in. It doesn't go off the rails like the later movies with lore and with supernatural elements. It's just something that can happen. The entire thing is off-putting. The music just makes you feel like something is wrong. And it's an amazing, amazing horror movie. And there's a reason that it's a tentpole movie. One of the classics and one of the ones that set a standard for the entire genre. And the classic movie in general, even beyond horror. So, this is Alex from Sandro Says saying, happy Halloween. Please let me know what you think, what your favorite parts of Halloween are, what your favorite scares are from it, what your memory was of seeing it the first time. And I'll be back next year. See you then.